In this video, I want to talk about how you can declutter your home and declutter your life. Because clutter is not only demotivating to look at, it also means that you waste time looking for stuff. I mean, take a look at the picture here on the right. I don't know how the owner of all this junk expects to find anything. I mean, I call it junk, but I suspect a lot of it is actually quite valuable and quite important. But you can't tell what's the trash and what's the treasure. You're going to have to find everything. You're going to have to delve through. Let's say, for example, you want to find a book out of that stack. You're not going to find it because they're all stacked sideways. So you're going to have to go through every single book to look for the one that you want. And it just takes time away from doing something more important. So that's why it can really be demotivating, because you can start to look for something, you get fed up and stop looking and perhaps go out and buy something, and then you find you've got two, and one thing just leads to another. And of course, an organized environment leads to an organized mind, because once you start to get into an organized mindset, you're going to find that you don't want an untidy environment. You want to make sure that you can stay focused on different things. Now, when it comes to getting organized and decluttering, one of the key, most crucial things that you can do is to get proper storage. Get proper storage so you can put all your stuff away where it needs to be, and so that you can find it without any hassle or without any delay. And I suppose the simplest form of storage is shelving. You can put your books and other things on shelves and you can easily find them. You can even do like the owner of these shelves has done and label everything alphabetically so that it makes things even more easy to find. And of course, for things like papers, you want to have proper filing. So you want to have something like a filing cabinet, or you can have file folders, or you can have lever arch files and file boxes, which of course you can put on your shelves. And you want to devise a filing system that works for you. And exactly how you do it is going to be down to you, because it's whichever works best. There is no right or wrong way of doing that. But you can file things, say, alphabetically. You can file things by date. You can file things by client or by job. Or you can file things by location. If you're a landscape gardener, you can file by wherever the town or city is that you happen to be working in, or the street or the district. But whatever you do, you should establish a filing routine and stick to it. Because if you file everything away once and then you go back to just simply sticking everything into a pile, there's not a lot of point. So once you start this filing regime, you want to stick to it. Another thing that you want to do is to get rid of stuff that you don't use anymore. We all have a tendency to hang on to things, but at the end of the day, if you're not using something, there's no real use to keep it. It just attracts the dust. So if you haven't used something for a couple of years and it has no sentimental value to you, then simply chuck it out. Or if something is just taking up space, you should get rid of it, because after all, if you don't use it, perhaps somebody else might be able to get some use from it. If an appliance doesn't work anymore, then get it taken away for recycling. Don't just simply stick it in the shed or in your garage or in the cupboard under the stairs or wherever it is that you put stuff. Get it taken away, get it recycled, get it back out and being used. And likewise, if a piece of equipment is obsolete and you've upgraded to something else, then you should donate it to a charity shop or something like that so that other people can get the use from it. Don't bother keeping it as a backup, because, let's face it, you'll never use it anyway. If you bought a new computer and you're using it and your old one's a backup, if your new computer breaks a couple of years down the road, you're going to go out and buy a new one anyway, aren't you? You're not going to use the old one again. So again, get rid of it, get it out there, and free up the space. Because you see, getting rid of stuff that you don't need or use anymore makes what you do have more valuable. Now, I suppose when it comes to your home, the ultimate expression of this is minimalist living. Now, I know this doesn't suit everyone, but if you have a home like this one here, where there's lots of clean lines, there's lots of empty space on shelving, you've got lots of stuff that's precious, stuff that is meaningful to you, but you don't have a lot of old junk lying around, it makes things much easier to deal with. It's easier to look after, and of course it doesn't require much dusting because you're not attracting the dust. You don't have to take the ornaments down and dust them one at a time and put them back up again. So that frees more time if you do your own housework, and it saves you money if you hire somebody else to do it for you. And of course, when it comes to decluttering, the same goes for your computer. You want to have different file folders for different projects. And things like, if you have a different client, then make sure that you have different clients in different folders on your hard drive. Things like photos, you can organize them by date or by subject or by location so that you can easily go back and find them again. So, in other words, don't just simply dump everything in My Computer and then you've got to spend a lot of time scrolling down trying to find it again. You should also back up files from your PC or your Mac periodically and delete the ones that you haven't accessed in a while. Now, you'll still have them because they'll be part of the backup set. So if for some reason you do need to go back and look at a file that you haven't looked at for a couple of years, you can simply find the appropriate backup disk and stick it in your computer and copy it back onto your hard drive, and away you go. But you're not having to keep sifting through whole loads of files that you haven't looked at for a long time. Something else that you should do is to keep software regularly updated. And you want to uninstall previous versions of the software if it doesn't automatically do it for you. Quite often when you upgrade to a different version of the software, it will automatically delete the previous version, but not every software program does. And you'll find that you've got older versions that aren't being accessed anymore that are just taking up space on your hard drive. So get rid of those, simply manually delete them. And you should also run registry cleaning software from time to time. This is if you have a PC, so that your computer runs more efficiently, because quite often, particularly when you've upgraded from a previous version of software, the software registry will maintain a record of that so that if you reinstall it, all of your settings are still there. Now, I don't know about you, but there aren't many times when I've actually had to go back to a previous version of a software program that I've been using after I've been using it for a little while. And your computer's going to go through the registry and it's going to find the old version before it finds the new version. So when you clean all that out, your computer runs much more efficiently because your computer will simply look for the newer file. And when you implement all of these things that we've talked about in this video, you'll soon find that you can bring order out of chaos.